Welcome to SVG-TV News for Monday, December 1st, 2014. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. With the antiretroviral drug treatment program going strong in this country since 2003 and the National HIV/AIDS, TB and Sexually Transmitted Infection Policy completed, Minister of Health, Wellness and the Environment Clayton Bergen said his department would continue to improve its services in the fight against HIV/AIDS. Bergen said the policy, which has already been implemented, also delves into aspects of strengthening capacity of government to serve stewards of health programs, engaging persons living with HIV/AIDS, enhancing policy and programs, monitoring and accountability, among other things. In a plea for continued compassion and partnership in the fight against HIV/AIDS, Minister Bergen says that the government continually provides the antiretroviral medication free of charge and has not had an incidence of being out of stock, despite an increase of clients at the clinics. The Health and Wellness Minister said professional psychosocial services are available and the support from non-governmental and faith-based organizations has also been extremely commendable. The minister concluded his address to mark International AIDS Day by calling for more responsible individual action to reduce the global epidemic HIV/AIDS and the discrimination against persons living with the disease to end. Meanwhile, an exhibition was held earlier today at the Leeward Bus Terminal to commemorate the World HIV/AIDS Day. At this event, persons received information about condom use and healthy sex practices. There were also stalls set up with qualified persons to do the various blood tests, including sugar, hypertension, and HIV. The event was hosted by the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment in collaboration with the Planned Parenthood Association. Director of the HIV/AIDS unit, Firosa Roach, says the event is educational to share information with Vincentians about HIV/AIDS.
AIDS Day under the theme Getting to Zero, Zero New Infection, Zero Discrimination and Zero AIDS Related Death. This theme really reflects the tremendous progress made globally in combating the spread of the disease, access to life-saving antiretroviral treatment and decline in new infection and AIDS related death. So although we have made progress, we still have a lot that we need to do. So as we celebrate the day, we want to heighten awareness of HIV/AIDS and we want to continue to promote preventative measures to continue to reduce the transmission of HIV, to promote human rights of people infected and affected by HIV in an effort to reduce stigma and discrimination. And we want to encourage persons living with HIV and AIDS to adhere to their treatment regime so that they can live longer.
Roach encourages persons to get tested so that they may be more knowledgeable about their status and can therefore make the necessary lifestyle changes needed according to the results. She stated that HIV is no longer a death sentence.
Your status. If you come, you get tested, you're not positive, you can put measures in place to prevent you from getting infected. If you are positive, then you know your status, you're positive, you can go into treatment and you would be able to live a normal and long life. Because long ago, you know, once you tested as HIV positive, it was like a death sentence. But today, thanks to civil society and global solidarity, once you're tested and you're tested positive, you have access to antiretroviral drugs, and you can be placed on these drugs and you live once you adhere to your treatment, you can live longer.
Roach is encouraging all persons to take the necessary precaution while engaging in sexual activities, adding that the risk of contracting HIV becomes higher with multiple sex partners.
First of all, I would want persons to get tested, know your status, and then you're going to practice safe sex in terms of if you're going to have sex, use a condom with every sex act. use a condom all the time. And also encourage your partners to be tested and to have one faithful sex partner, because you know the risk of being infected if you have multiple sex partners and not using a condom.
Vincentian businessman Joel Providence was on Friday installed to the post of SVG's honorary consul to Mexico. Providence, who is also general manager of Couriers Hazels Incorporated, SVG, says he now looks forward to a very exciting and productive working relationship with his Mexican counterparts. He said he will be working specifically to build a trade mission where private sector officials from SVG will seek to increase travel to Mexico in the near future.
Appointment to the position of honorary consul is indeed an honor and a privilege, and conventional practice requires me in this role to keep the embassy informed of noteworthy developments and in some instances provide the views behind the news here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, to represent the interests of nationals of Mexico present in this jurisdiction, to help lay the groundwork in advance of any mission of Mexican officials coming to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, or on the other hand, conversely, officials of St. Vincent and the Grenadines traveling to Mexico.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Camilo Gonçalves describes Providence as a titan of a businessman in SVG and a pillar within his community. Gonçalves says it would have been difficult to think of one better suited to perform the task of ambassador and honorary consul and a liaison for the Mexican government.
Areas in which St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Mexico are drawing ever closer, and the areas in which St. Vincent and the Grenadines has particular interest in reaching out to Mexico are areas in which Joel Providence has particular expertise and interest. Foreign trade, sports, education, languages, business, all of these are areas in which St. Vincent and the Grenadines seeks to be closer to Mexico, and all of these are areas that the ambassador and his wife, probably the most effective one to punch in the region, have indicated that Mexico has an interest in dealing with St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Meanwhile, Ambassador of Mexico to the OECS, Luis Manuel Lopez Moreno, says based on the credentials presented by Providence, he is absolutely positive that he will perform exceptionally well with the new responsibilities with which he has been entrusted.
With these credentials, or with his credentials, the work experience and knowledge of the Spanish language and Mexican culture, we are completely sure that Mr. Providence is the right person to support us to improve the cooperation and will help us to reach the trade, investment, tourism, and cultural exchange that good friendly countries as Mexico and St. Vincent and the Grenadines deserve.
Senator Camilo Gonçalves has been given the nod to contest the next general elections on the URP ticket for the East St. George constituency. In accepting his new challenge, the young Gonçalves said for the last 9 years, he has lived and breathed the development of SVG both at the United Nations and as a parliamentarian.
The case of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to the world to ensure that we get the developmental assistance and the international respect that we deserve as a country. And I am proud already of the work we have done, the work I have done to get funds to build many projects in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Gonçalves commended his father, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonçalves, for being the best political teacher in the world to him. He also had high praises for Clayton Bergen, the present MP for East St. George, whom he says has become his mentor.
He's training me, he's taking me around, he's explaining things to me, and I'm learning on them. But when you elect me, you won't be transitioning just from training to community. You had one, you have 2 for 1. And when you elect me, you have 3 for 1. Because I have access to this man that we do Eloise has. We have to tell you that I really is here. Yes, so much tomorrow.
Farmers in Fancy will soon be able to practice innovative techniques in crop and livestock farming thanks to an eye-opening educational tour coordinated by the Ministry of Agriculture and the Fancy Vegetable Farmers Cooperative, FAFCO, last Wednesday. Over the years, numerous farmers in Fancy have been experiencing increased difficulties in acquiring seedlings for production due to the long distance from Georgetown and Kingstown. In order to address this problem, a number of vegetable farmers formed themselves into the producer group Fancy Vegetable Farmers Cooperative, FAFCO. The objective of the group is to provide quality vegetable seedlings at a sustainable level and an affordable cost to farmers in the community throughout the year. During the educational tour, the farmers were taken to various locations on the leeward side of the island, where they were able to take note of the different technologies that were being used in crop production and livestock rearing. President of FAFCO, Masha Williams, said the tour was an eye-opener for her and the other farmers present, adding that they are now equipped with enough information to start farming organic crops.
And this tour today have really educated me, it inspired me, and I do believe my other colleagues, they were inspired today from this tour, because we really want to go the organic way. We want to keep away from the chemical, which I think is causing a havoc on human health. Too much chemical. So our experience today, we are prepared to share it with those who are really interested of knowing what we learn today.
A workshop which seeks to enhance the quality of customer service within the public service will be held here tomorrow, addressing the topic improving performance and accountability. The workshop will be hosted by the Public Sector Reform Unit, the PSRU, in the Ministry of National Reconciliation and will take place at the Knowledge Institute in Kingstown from 8:30 a.m. It will target middle and senior level officers in the public service. It is envisaged that at the end of the workshop, participants will better understand the importance of performance and accountability, recognize the linkage between performance and accountability, be better positioned to improve their performance and be more accountable, deliver the highest quality of customer service, and adopt a more professional approach in the execution of their duties. Coming up, 2014 SVG Christmas 9 Mornings Festival launched in grand style last evening. More stories on the local scene when SVGTV News continues. Don't go away. Welcome back. The 2014 SVG Christmas and the 9 Mornings Festival was last evening launched in grand style in capital Kingstown. In declaring the festival open at Heritage Square, Minister of Tourism, Sports and Culture Cecil Mackey said the 9 Mornings Festival continues to play a major role in the development of culture in SVG, as it now moves to promoting the development of local cultural artists throughout its many activities.
We have cultural artists, the dancers, persons who sing, persons who do drama, persons who do choral speaking, and the different art forms that are put on throughout the various programs in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Indeed, it has added significantly to our various festivals in the country. And young persons, middle-aged persons, and older persons now have that opportunity to expose and develop their talents at the various concerts throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Minister Mackey said he is pleased to see how the 9 Mornings activities continue to bring together all sectors of the Vincentian society.
I said last year that we are now bringing over 10,000 persons to our country for the month of December. We now have the attention of the regional and international media. It means that we are moving forward. And as we welcome more and more visitors to our shows each year, with 2015 being the year when it will be cheaper, easier, and more attractive to come to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we expect that 9 Mornings will continue to be the critically important cultural activity for us here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Here is a look at some of the many cultural performances that were staged last evening to mark the start of the 2014 9 Mornings Festival.
Because they look real good. But I remember the story before I left, when this boy, Albert, had gone on the tree and tried to tease something, and Albert fell, and Albert only could jump up and say, Merry Christmas!
Christmas are the best time.
When shopping in Kingston this Christmas season, persons can rest assured that the police will be doing their job to clamp down on criminal activities. This assurance comes from Assistant Commissioner of Police Frankie Joseph during a recent interview with SVG-TV News.
At the police training school, we have 52 recruits in training, and fortunately they will be graduating on the 18th of next month, which is December. So hence that is going to give us added human resources that we really and truly need at this time. So in Kingston itself, the beat will have the presence, a heavy police presence within the capital for this Christmas, and also that will help us also to give the district station.
Meanwhile, ACP Joseph says the RSVG police force will be hosting an exhibition next week to provide tips on how persons can protect themselves and keep their belongings safe during the festive season. The exhibition is expected to be held on Friday, December 12th outside the Central Police Station in capital Kingstown.
What we have in place, we will be having on the 12th of December, just outside the police headquarters, we'll be having our crime prevention showcase. We know that this is the season, and normally every Christmas season you have a lot of persons coming into the capital to shop. Hence, we always have crime prevention showcase, and this is where we will display a number of security equipments, okay, that we will advise homeowners and businesses that they can better secure their premises and their building with by using some of these security measures. Also, we normally distribute brochures with crime prevention tips, because during the festive season we normally have people coming to the police barracks very often, where persons will be in Kingston, and people will be cutting their handbags and picking their wallets and pulling their trains and what's not. So we are expecting all that. So hence, around the festive season, just before Carnival and just before Christmas, we normally have these crime prevention showcase.
This country is said to be moving towards a pan-revolution. That's according to area representative of South Central Windward, Sabota Caesar, who was speaking at a Pan Against Crime concert held at the Erlinghorn Square in Diamond Village over the weekend. Caesar noted that he is going to ensure that all students at the primary school level in the constituency can play the instrument.
I want to say that the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines had a brilliant idea to have the Pan Against Crime campaign. Some of us will say, and I don't want us to continue to say it, that we enter a life of crime because of needs and necessity. And I am going to repeat it again. There are some persons, I am a lawyer by profession and I have heard it many times. When the magistrate asks them, why did you do this? I did it because I was in need. Well, my student companion said something else. It said, necessity is the mother of all inventions.
He also used the opportunity to encourage the youths to always look to the positive side of life.
Time thinking about how I could do something positive because I have a need. I want to encourage all the youngsters here tonight. I'm happy to see them out in their numbers. I see persons in front of the stage not older than 8, 9 years old. I want to thank their parents for bringing them out. And I want you not to wait until you are old as I was, age 19, before I could touch a pan. We have children here right here in Diamonds who are under the age of 10, who are commanding and holding their own and holding what they hold right here on the pan.
Meanwhile, Commissioner of Police Michael Charles said the Pan Against Crime initiative is setting a good example for the nation's youths. According to Commissioner Charles, they are not only learning to play the pan, but also valuable life lessons.
With pan. And I can remember, I'm a living example, for want of a better word. My daughter, she didn't pass the common entrance. But because of the education revolution, she had an opportunity to go to a secondary school. She went to the Bethel at the Camden Park Secondary School. While at the secondary school, she wasn't doing well. It was around that time that the Camden Park Secondary School developed or formed the school band. And she, well, it had to be me she got it from, really. She never learned anything about music, but she played the keyboard, the guitar, the drums, and like her father, a good vocalist. As I stated earlier, she wasn't doing well. Since the formation of that band, my daughter excelled in every way.
Kieran Mark, a Grenadian national, was last Friday fined $67,500 or faced 3 years imprisonment after pleading guilty to 3 drug-related charges. Mark pleaded guilty for having over 96 pounds of marijuana with intent to supply to another for the purpose of exportation and drug trafficking. He, along with 2 other Grenadians and 1 Vincentian national, were on October 7, 2014, intercepted with the controlled drug while they were traveling on a speedboat at Larroquhai Bay. The Coast Guard was at the time carrying out routine sea patrol when the 4 occupants were seen on the boat. The court heard that, having recognized the presence of the Coast Guard, the drug was thrown overboard. A warning shot was fired, signaling the boat to stop. The drug was subsequently retrieved from the waters of the sea, thus resulting in the arrest of the 4 occupants. When the defendants first appeared in court, Mark pleaded guilty, while the other 3 maintained their innocence. However, the chief prosecutor asked for them to be remanded into custody as to seek instructions from his superior on whether to proceed against all 4 men. When they reappeared in court last Friday, the charges were withdrawn against the other 3.